Hey, Nick Thomas here with InfoSec Inc.
And I'm Judy Darwin with the National Cyber Summit Marketing Director.
And we're here at the 10th Annual National Cyber Summit in Huntsville, Alabama. And to my right is Miss Cary Miller. She's a Managing Director of Deloitte. And they are one of the sponsors here for Capture the Flag at the National Cyber Summit. So welcome, Carey.
Thank you so much, Nick.
So how is the Capture the Flag going over here? I see a lot of kids going to town on some laptops. What's going on over there?
It has been so awesome. So the essence of Capture the Flag is that teams of people, some of them students and some of them cyber professionals, get puzzles to solve, cyber puzzles to solve, and they work towards capturing the cyber flag.
Excellent.
And you're right, it has been so exciting to see the level of intensity with which those guys compete. This year we actually had to break it up into 3 separate groups because there were so many participants. We had a couple of professional tracks and a couple of academic tracks. Deloitte actually sponsored 2 high school teams,
That's great.
which is really cool from our local schools. And you know, one of the things that's most exciting is to watch all of them compete. I mean, the level of intensity and passion that they bring to that activity, and the high school students in particular, who for most of them this is one of their first Capture the Flag competitions. I mean, I got to tell you guys, they are competing very, very well against a lot of our professional teams. So
That's good news.
Really amazing, yeah.
So the cyber education is working well here in Huntsville, sounds like.
Absolutely. I think these are the kinds of events that really develop interest from a very young age in the cybersecurity field. And if you think about our cyber needs as a nation going forward, the breadth and depth of experience we need and the volume, we've got to start them early, and we've got to get them excited. There's a team over there competing actually who are dressed as crayons.
I saw them.
And every time that they would win, they had this elaborate high five move that they would make. It was really
it's a
amazing.
production for them, isn't it?
That's right, and you could see their confidence levels increasing too,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so they're the puzzles they're getting get harder and harder and harder, and it feels like we're making a big impact and really pushing people towards a field that is just desperately needed.
So we've done this for several years, the Cyber Cup. So this year, with Deloitte sponsoring it, I know that we probably got different puzzles than we have in the past. That was one thing that was brought up as well. Is it going to be the same situation and scenarios in cyber range that we used last year? So I understand y'all came back with some different scenarios for these folks.
Well, we actually didn't sponsor it last year. We competed and we won. Hooray.
Yay!
And now that we are actually sponsoring it, we can't compete.
Right.
But it's a totally different system. And we can actually, we're always customizing it and adding new puzzles because we want to make it ever more challenging. That's right, and up everyone's game.
Right.
So what have you done here in Huntsville? I know the company's huge. What does Deloitte do here in Huntsville?
So Deloitte is very large, and we have the largest cybersecurity practice in the world. But our footprint here in Huntsville is actually largely cyber-based also. I mean, it's a team of people who are very, very focused on the mission side of cyber, so really tackling not just the IT infrastructure, but if you think about Huntsville's sweet spots, we're all about rockets and missiles and airplanes and other aviation platforms, and one of our specialties is really tying the cybersecurity risk with the mission risk.
Right.
And so that's an area of real passion for us. We also have a team of folks here who have in Huntsville, for a Huntsville-based customer, developed a threat-based analytic capability that looks at a business, a country, a missile or weapons platform, just exactly the way China or Russia would look at them and say, hey, this is what the adversary sees, and if they can see this, this is how they're going to attack you. So that's been really exciting.
That's some good
too.
threat intel
really
for any
good.
company
That's exactly
to
right.
consider to have from Deloitte.
That's exactly right. And we are big believers that you have to know the threat in order to really make yourself cyber secure. And so in some ways it all starts with the bad guys, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what do you think from your perspective that Deloitte has seen this year at the Cyber Summit that's really been a change and an impact?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. One of the first sessions actually this week was the classified session.
That's right. We haven't talked about the classified session.
It was really outstanding. There were speakers from Army Cyber and from DHS, Department of Homeland Security. and OSD, the Office of Secretary of Defense, and we actually have a couple of projects with each of those, and we were able to identify relationships between them that I think will up all of their games in those very tangible ways and really short-term programs. So, I think it's one of those places where when you get a lot of really smart people focused on our national security problems together, good things are going to happen.
And everyone's engaged.
That's kind of our theme, standing together, uniting together with all the different agencies right here in Huntsville, in the Rocket City.
Right. That's exactly right.
All right, Carey. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
I enjoyed it very much, Nick.
And thanks for staying in sync
Thanks.
with InfoSec Sync.